We need to build a wall, and it has to be built quickly.
Good morning. It's 9:07 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Mason Fleming is producing. Joan Jones in the newsroom. And my name is Chris Hand. Hey, you doing good? You doing good? Anybody else feel like the weeks are dragging and then we get to Friday and it's like, oh, it's Friday already?
What?
And then it goes so fast
Yep.
through the weekend.
Why does that happen, John?
I don't know, but I plan to ask God that question when I get there.
Okay. Is that going to be the first question?
No.
Why was it that the weekdays dragged, sir? And then the weekends went a little fast. Could you help out my kids left behind down there with that? That'd be great. Just reverse it. That'd be a good first question.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There
was
might
it
be
because of
other
sin that
important
Mondays
questions.
suck, or is that just a weird time thing?
I'd probably lead with, what the hell were you going for with the platypus? I feel like that would be my lead, and then we'd get into more serious topics from there.
Yeah, why mammal if lay eggs?
Yeah, nobody knows.
What's this? What's going on?
Duck, otter, what is this?
Beaver?
Very weird.
Come on.
And why do spiders have to exist?
Yeah, thank you. There's a lot of we have questions.
Why so many legs? Why so many eyes?
Yeah.
None of those questions will be answered today.
No.
Nope.
What questions will be answered, Chris?
Well, we'll be talking about Iran.
Ah.
People like Iran, I think. I think people like talking about it. We'll talk about Eric Swalwell. Him and Ruben Gallego.
Buddies, best buddies.
Gallego. It's just hilarious when everybody's like, we knew nothing. And then you get somebody who's like near him and they're like, yeah, we knew. And then stories come out and they're like, by no, did you mean you went and got prostitutes with him on the day of your wedding?
You were there in photos?
By yeah, we all heard rumors. Did you mean you were actively doing cocaine with him and strippers? Is that what you mean?
Well, I was gathering evidence. I was trying to pin him down.
There were certainly rumors, but we couldn't quite put our finger on it. Our nose was right there, but we couldn't put our finger on it. We'll talk about that. $1,500 in campaign funds that they said he was spending at a hotel down the road with his homeboy, his ace, his dog, Ruben. Kerry Lake should have won in Arizona. She should have.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, so we'll talk about that. We'll also talk about some immigration enforcement stuff. Department of Homeland Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen gave an interview last night on Fox News. We'll bring you some of that audio as well. And then we'll talk a little bit more about fraud. Ilhan Omar, she got asked about fraud. She was on the Breakfast Club with Charlemagne. And she said she was asked about the hundreds of millions in fraud in Minnesota. And she's like, yeah, it's tough. It makes it so hard for the average Somali business owner. What about the taxpayer? Also, I thought things have been pretty easy for the average Somali business owner. The Leering Center, no kids, just a lot of taxpayer dollars going in. So
Lots of money, no struggles.
So we'll talk about all that and more. We'll begin today on Iran. We had a press conference with Pete Hegseth that we're going to bring you some audio from. But let's start with Caroline Leavitt yesterday during the press briefing. She had to address some fake news. The fake news was that the administration has been requested an extension of the ceasefire, she said, no, that's not reality.
Yes, so I saw some reporting, again, bad reporting this morning, that we had formally requested an extension of the ceasefire. That is not true at this moment. We've remained very much engaged in these negotiations, in these talks. You heard from the Vice President directly and the President this week that these conversations are productive and ongoing, and that's where we are right now. I've also seen some reporting about the potentiality for in-person discussions again. Those discussions are being had, but nothing is official until you hear it from us here at the White House. But we feel good about the prospects of a deal. The president mentioned that in his interview yesterday, and it's obviously in the best interest of Iran to meet the president's demands. I think he's made his red lines in these negotiations very clear to the other side, and so we are continuing to see how these conversations go.
So the administration is saying that the blockade is going as well as it could and that Iran is being sapped of resources. That very well could be the case. Donald Trump posted this yesterday. This is a message from one of our Navy warships, and they're talking to a ship trying to get through the blockade.
The U.S. has announced a formal blockade of Iranian ports and coastal areas. This is illegal action. All vessels are advised to immediately return to port if leaving and discontinue transit to Iran if that is your next port of call. Do not attempt to breach the blockade. Vessels will be boarded for interdiction and seizure transiting to or from an Iranian port. Turn around and prepare to be boarded. If you do not comply with this blockade, we will use force. The whole of the United States Navy is ready to force compliance.
I mean, it sounds badass, I'm not going to lie. And we do have the most powerful Navy in the world. So it's not a shock that the blockade is doing what blockades do. Stephen Miller said that they're counting down to economic doom in Iran.
This embargo is squeezing the economic life out of the Iranian regime, and the United States has the capacity to continue this indefinitely if Iran chooses the wrong path. President Trump knows something else. He knows that American oil is the most important currency in the world, and that is why when he came into office, he unleashed American energy as never before, and that's why you see all of these ships coming to America empty and leaving laden with American energy.
That was Stephen Miller last night saying economic doom is in the forecast if they don't make a deal. However, there was some other reporting last night that if you blinked, you missed it on Fox News because they ran it so quick, man. It was just a blurb. But listen to this.
Iran used a Chinese spy satellite to target U.S. bases in the Middle East last month. The IRGC obtained access to the Chinese satellite shortly after its launch in late 2024 and apparently tasked it with monitoring U.S. military sites before and after drone and missile strikes on the U.S. bases. Brad.
What's that you say? 15 seconds, 20 seconds of airtime on Fox News. The Iranians are being helped by the Chinese with satellites. Does that surprise you at all? And do you think that satellites are the only extent of that? I mean, what we can see with what's happening with Ukraine and Russia is, well, the United States is fighting Russia via proxy, right? And this could be the same thing, but in reverse here, where we're going to be dealing with China and Russia via proxy. Forbes had an article on this. And to be fair, China has denied these satellite claims. But they say that the report indicated that Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps' aerospace force purchased the satellite TEE-01B from Chinese firm Earth-Eye Co. in 2024, and that the same device was used to take photos of bases in Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Bahrain, Iraq, around the time they came under attack. Both the New York Times and CNN reported in the last week that China was preparing to ship new air defense systems to Iran, citing sources familiar with U.S. intelligence assessments. And these would include new shoulder-fired anti-aircraft missiles, according to both reports, similar to the device President Trump said Iranians used to shoot down an F-15 fighter jet earlier in April. The Chinese government denied this to both CNN and the Times, and they said that they do not intend to send weapons to Iran. Russia, meanwhile, has reportedly supplied Iran with military intelligence, including satellite images of U.S. bases in the Middle East before they were targeted by strikes, according to Ukrainian intelligence assessments reported by Reuters last week. Speaking to a British podcaster after the Ukrainian intelligence was made public, Vladimir Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, said he did not receive a reaction from the U.S., adding that the problem is they trust Putin. The Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs responded to Forbes, saying recently certain forces have been keen to fabricate rumors and maliciously link them to China. China firmly opposes this kind of ill-intentioned conduct. And then we had yesterday on Fox News, Donald Trump saying to Maria Bartiromo that when he asked China not to supply Iran with weapons, and that Xi said he's not doing that. Do you believe China? I mean, I think that's what it boils down to. Do you believe China? Do you believe Russia? Do you think that they have no skin in the game, that they're not willing to get involved? This would absolutely stretch it out into a much longer conflict. And Iran, while the blockade could be working with the Strait of Hormuz, they're not an island. I mean, there are routes into that country where stuff can get in and out. But the blockade does seem to be working, but I wonder how much it's going to work. We're already seeing reports of fuel shortages and crises. I've seen headlines that farmers in Australia are worried that they might not be able to plant crops because they might not be able to afford it because of fuel costs and fertilizer. And right now, there isn't like a blanket statement of everyone in Europe is running out of fuel because of the situation. But there are emerging shortages and actual stresses that these countries are facing currently. Europe is at the biggest risk when it comes to the fuel and the blockade. They're not fully out of fuel, but they say that they're facing active shortages in specific areas, especially aviation fuel. Europe is the closest to an actual shortage scenario, particularly jet fuel. The estimates say they have as little as 6 weeks of jet fuel in supply, and they're heavily dependent on imports. 75% of their imports are coming from the Middle East of jet fuel. So the disruptions from the Iran conflict, the Hormuz blockade, the choke point there, that's a big issue for Europe. The United Kingdom, Germany, France, Netherlands, Italy, Spain, they're all a little bit stressing out about this. And while the United States is saying that they're going to economically strangle Iran, I wonder how long they can keep fighting if Russia and China are getting in the mix behind the scenes. And it wouldn't surprise me if they're getting in the mix behind the scenes, because as we know, we got in the mix behind the scenes in Ukraine. We're still in the mix behind the scenes. But, I mean, the stuff is crazy, man. This could get out of control fast. But the United States, I mean, to be fair, the Trump administration isn't just focusing on the blockade. And Scott Bessent yesterday said that because of Iran bombing their neighbors, the other nations in the Middle East, Bahrain, the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, etc., those countries have now opened up the Iranian bank accounts and let the U.S. See where they are. This is Scott Bessent yesterday during the press briefing at the White House.
Yeah, I think that's not a correct characterization. Yesterday, we announced Operation Economic Fury, and we, for over a year, we have had maximum pressure on the Iranians, both on blocking payments into the Iranian state and going after the accounts of the IRGC. One of what may prove to be fatal mistakes that the Iranians made was bombing their GCC neighbors, and who are now willing to be much more transparent in terms of the funds, or do a deeper dive in investigating the funds that are held within their banking systems. So we have pushed out to them the request that we want to freeze more funds of the leadership of the IRGC and any members of Iranian leadership. The other thing that we have done is we have told countries that if you are buying Iranian oil, that if Iranian money is sitting in your banks, we are now willing to apply secondary sanctions, which is a very stern measure, and the Iranians should know that this is going to be the financial equivalent of what we saw in the kinetic activities.
The financial equivalent of what we saw in the kinetic activities, Operation Economic Fury. I love that they're going all the different routes and trying to end this as quickly as possible. I do worry what this looks like, 2-3 weeks down the road if Russia and China are getting more involved. But I do like what the administration is doing, trying to just end this as quickly as possible. It does appear that that's what they're doing, and using every tool in the tool belt. One of the things that they did a couple weeks back to reduce the stress on oil prices was they relieved sanctions. They had those waivers that they got put out for all the oil that was on ships that were already on the water, and they said that they're going to be allowed to sell it. They're not going to be sanctioned on it. but they said that was actually going to hurt them monetarily. It was just announced yesterday that they are not going to be renewing those sanction waivers for the Iranians moving forward.
Are you considering any more sanctions relief, Mr. Secretary, for countries that are suffering right now in order to get more oil to your allies?
We will not be renewing the general license on Russian oil, and we will not be renewing the general license on Iranian oil. Because again, that was oil that was on the water prior to March 11th.
Right.
So all that has been used.
So the sanctions won't continue. They're diving into the bank accounts. Operation Economic Fury is in full effect. China and Russia could be working behind the scenes to help the Iranians, just like we work behind the scenes to help the Ukrainians. So that wouldn't shock me, but it would make the conflict stretch out a little bit longer. We'll see what happens. We'll bring you comments on the way from Pete Hegseth. He gave a press conference this morning. I haven't heard these comments yet, so we'll be reacting in real time. Plus, on the way, we'll talk about the immigration enforcement operations that are happening in this country. We got some updates on fraud and more. Taking your phone calls as well. 615-737-9986. It's 921 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hey, this is Pastor Al, and join us on Super Talk 99.7, Sunday evenings from 7 to 8. We're going to look at the news from a biblical perspective.
Hey, guys!
Hey!
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, and they presenting the Spring Breathe Easy package. They be presenting. It's designed to help homeowners clear out dust, allergens, and pet dander before the summer heat arrives. This powerful package includes an AC tune-up plus a professional indoor air quality check. We got to make sure that you and your family are breathing the healthiest, cleanest air possible. So with this package, you're going to get that check, and then you're also going to receive a dust inspection, a premium air duct cleaning. That's going to remove the built-up debris that's hiding deep inside your system, but that's not all. Busy Bee is also going to install a whole home germicidal system. That's going to reduce the airborne contaminants and keep your air crystal clear. And with premium service, you'll get a bonus unit fog deodorizer, so your system is going to be so fresh and so clean like spring itself. Now you're going to get all this value for just $11.99 on 1.5 to 3 ton systems, regularly $1,800, or $15.99 for 3.5 to 5 ton units, regularly $20.99. Call 615-775-7833. That's 615-775-7833, or find them online, busybeehvac.com.
Up ahead, what to expect from this afternoon's storms. Also, we've got an update. It's now 13 ships that have been turned back after approaching the U.S. blockade. Those stories at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. Headlines on the way in less than 2 minutes. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You can listen to the show anywhere, all the apps, the FM dial. You can watch the show as well. We are live on Super Talk TV. That's on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Rumble. We're going to bring you some of the biggest moments from the Pete Hegseth press conference that went down a little while ago. He had a message to Iranian leadership, and he was saying, listen, as our negotiators have said, you could have a prosperous future, a golden bridge. But really, the ball is in your court, and we'll see what the Iranians decide. We'll see what happens with negotiations. Only time is going to tell whether this operation is a success or a failure. Pete Hegseth, though, talking a big game earlier this morning.
To Iran's military leadership, to the KH leadership and IRGC leadership, we're watching you. Our capabilities are not the same, our military and yours. Remember, this is not a fair fight. And we know what military assets you are moving and where you are moving them to. While you are digging out, which is exactly what you're doing, digging out of bombed out and devastated facilities, we are only getting stronger. You are digging out your remaining launchers and missiles with no ability to replace them. You have no defense industry, no ability to replenish your offensive or defensive capabilities. You only have what you have. You know that, and we know that.
Says you're digging out. I mean, the only thing I wish they were digging out right now were their heels, so that way we get to the negotiating table and we could get a deal done and get this conflict over with. We'll bring you more of these comments from Pete Hegseth on the way. As always, the phone lines are open for you, 615-737-9986. You can call in, you can text in. I'll bring you the highlights from Hegseth and Dan Raisin Kane next. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. It's now 9:30, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Well, got to be prepared for some rocking and rolling in the skies later today. Strong thunderstorms are arriving late in the day, but no chance for tornadoes. Plenty of chance, however, for rain and lots of it, says Stefano DiPietro.
Could there be some ponding in some areas? Absolutely, because when the ground is this dry, it actually takes a little bit of time to absorb all of that rain. So if you get caught in a good downpour, you live in a spot with poor drainage, that's where we could see some issues heading into the afternoon and early evening.
Areas south of I-40 are expected to be most affected. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth addressing the nation regarding Operation Epic Fury this morning. His first message directed at Iran's leaders.
You are digging out your remaining launchers and missiles with no ability to replace them. You have no defense industry, no ability to replenish your offensive or defensive capabilities. You only have what you have. You know that, and we know that.
13 ships have been turned around from that blockade. The Tennessee legislature passing the Charlie Kirk Act, setting guardrails for conduct on state college campuses. Here's News 2's Tori Gessner.
Under the bill, public colleges and universities couldn't shield students from offensive or controversial ideas just because people don't like them. That includes uninviting guest speakers because of protests. Students could be suspended or expelled for staging walkouts or holding signs if it disrupted an event or blocked someone's view. But students couldn't be retaliated against for their religious or political beliefs on topics like abortion, homosexuality, or, quote, transgender behavior, even if they're unpopular or controversial.
That bill now headed to Governor Lee's desk for signing. That is the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at the Glock Store. Big date coming up. Circle it on your calendar. Saturday, May 30th, the 6th annual open house happening at the one, the only Glock Store. I've been to a few of these open houses. They're always amazing. They have great speakers, demonstrations, shooting competitions. All of the best vendors are there. They got tables set up. They're giving away factory swag. And it's the biggest and best open to the public free gun gear raffle in all of Nashville, likely the entire country, every single year. And I'm not just saying that because it's a selling point. I'm saying that because last year they gave away over $25,000 in incredible raffle prizes. And they gave away 3 Glocks, including a Glock Store custom Glock that was worth over $3,000. One of our listeners actually won that Glock. I've seen pictures of it, and I was jealous I didn't win. I said, I'm going to sign up this year. They said, you can't, Chris. You practically work for us, so you're not allowed to win. So we'll have to cut a deal on the side, you and I, okay? When you get there, find me. We'll figure out how we can rig the thing. I'm kidding, but I'm not kidding about the date. Saturday, May 30th. It's going to be an awesome open house at the one, the only Glock Store. Minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere, and always open online, glockstore.com.
Yesterday in your Truth Social, you called the Iranians crazy bastards.
True.
What is your response to critics who say that...
I don't care about critics.
What is your response to critics who say that it is your mental health that should perhaps be examined as this war continues?
I haven't heard that. But if that's the case, you're going to have more people like me, because our country was being ripped off on trade, on everything, for many years until I came along. So if that's the case, you're going to have more people.
Pete Hegseth speaking earlier. They've gathered all of the top generals in the entire world, brought them to Quantico and said, stop being fat and gay. Maybe I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but that's generally the message that we're getting.
No more identity months, DEI offices, dudes in dresses. No more climate change worship. No more division, distraction, or gender delusions. No more debris. We are done with that shit. Standards must be uniform, gender neutral, and high. Frankly, it's tiring to look out at combat formations, or really any formation, and see fat troops. Likewise, it's completely unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon. But if the words I'm speaking today are making your heart sink, then you should do the honorable thing and resign.
Stop being so fat and so gay. Let's focus on the mission. If you can do the job, you're welcomed here. No matter your sexual orientation or your skin color, but we're getting back to merit.
which is where we'll start with a message to Iran's military leadership. To the KH leadership and IRGC leadership, we're watching you. Our capabilities are not the same, our military and yours. Remember, this is not a fair fight. And we know what military assets you are moving and where you are moving them to. While you are digging out, which is exactly what you're doing, digging out of bombed out and devastated facilities, we are only getting stronger. You are digging out your remaining launchers and missiles with no ability to replace them. You have no defense industry, no ability to replenish your offensive or defensive capabilities. You only have what you have. You know that, and we know that. You can move things around, but you can't actually rebuild. You can dig out for now, but you can't reconstitute. But we can. We are reloading with more power than ever before, and better intelligence, even more importantly, better intelligence than ever before, as you expose yourself with your movement to our watchful eye. We are locked and loaded on your critical dual-use infrastructure, on your remaining power generation, and on your energy industry. We'd rather not have to do it, but we're ready to go at the command of our president and at the push of a button.
That's Pete Hegseth this morning. He gave a press conference coming out from a position of strength, message to the Iranians ahead of what could be more negotiations in the coming days, saying, hey, listen, you're exposing yourself. We're watching every move that you make, and we're ready to start bombing you. The ceasefire, what do we got one more week left in the ceasefire, right? It was a 2-week ceasefire, and it began this week, right? So we got another week after this. And then from that moment, apparently we know where everything is. They're digging everything out, and then there's going to be more bombing. Or negotiations are going to go well, and the blockade is going to work, and the Iranians are going to say, no, we're done. We're done. I mean, your guess is as good as mine which way it goes. All I do know is that Pete Hegseth is letting them know how it's going to go if they choose the opposite way.
Morning is the polite way that this can go. Your energy is not moving and will not move, and we can do this all day. But it's not destroyed yet. Your energy industry is not destroyed yet. You like to say publicly, Iran, that you control the Strait of Hormuz, but you don't have a navy or real domain awareness. You can't control anything. To be clear, threatening to shoot missiles and drones at ships, commercial ships that are lawfully transiting international waters, that is not control. That's piracy. That's terrorism. The United States Navy controls the traffic going in and out of the strait because we have real assets and real capabilities. And we're doing this blockade, performing it with less than 10% of America's naval power. The math is clear. We're using 10% of the world's most powerful Navy, and you have 0% of your Navy. That's real control, and we have a long track record of dealing with pirates and terrorists. But there is an alternative. As our negotiators have said, you, Iran, can choose a prosperous future, a golden bridge, and we hope that you do for the people of Iran. In the meantime, and for as long as it takes, we will maintain this blockade, successful blockade. But if Iran chooses poorly, then they will have a blockade and bombs dropping on infrastructure, power, and energy.
So that's Pete Hegseth, Secretary of War, sending a message to the Iranians. You could have a parachute out of this situation if you want to negotiate, or you're going to get bombed again. And Hegseth remains very, very confident. I like the confidence. I wonder what it looks like in practice if China and Russia get more involved. If they're more involved than we already know, as the reports are that Iran was using Chinese satellites, and there's all sorts of reporting that they're working behind the scenes. The United States and those leaders have said, no, that's not the case. But I mean, your guess is as good as mine. It wouldn't shock me if they were working behind the scenes. Behind the scenes here in America, Scott Bessent, we talked about that a moment ago. Operation Economic Fury is in full effect. Pete Hegseth confirmed that at the press conference this morning as well.
Secretary Scott Bessent and our friends over at Treasury are launching Operation Economic Fury as well, maximizing economic pressure across the entirety of the government. To Iran, choose wisely. The world...
Choose wisely. Choose wisely. He also had a message for the press and how they're covering this conflict.
Press, to the press corps, to the American media. As I just can't help but notice the endless stream of garbage, the relentlessly negative coverage, you cannot resist peddling. Despite the historic and important success of this effort and the success of our troops. Sometimes it's hard to figure out what side some of you are actually on.
Ooh, whose side are you on? I mean, I think that you have a right to criticize this operation if you voted for no new wars. I think the media has lied through their teeth on a couple of occasions, and I think it's also very clear that the United States went in and they accomplished a lot of the objectives that they set out in front of them. Eliminating the Navy, reducing the missile capability, reducing the nuclear capabilities. That's all true. And that can all be true, and you can still be against the war. And that can all be true, and this war can still get prolonged. So I think he's calling out both sides there. I think he's calling out conservatives, and I think he's calling out liberals, but he continued.
It's incredibly unpatriotic. This same press corps, not this exact same press corps, but at least an older press corps, bent over backwards during the Biden administration to explain away, the disastrous and disgraceful Afghanistan withdrawal. You called it the greatest airlift in American history. It's almost like you're cheering only for one side.
Yeah, I mean, some of the reporting was fair when the Afghanistan withdrawal came about. I mean, I do recall CNN with their jaws dropped when they saw how disastrous that pullout was. But, you know, he's not wrong that the American mainstream media does cover things unfairly and that they cover up for the Democrats and they highlight the mistakes of the Republicans. But I think that's why as conservatives, we need to be much more honest with our criticisms and our critiques of this administration, because we've seen what it looks like when the other side just deflects and avoids and buries their heads in the sand when they see objectively bad things happening. Now, I don't necessarily think we see objectively bad things happening here, but I think that we do see a real possibility that this thing could go on for a lot longer than the 4 to 6 weeks that was originally sold to us as the American public. I pray that's not the case. I pray these negotiations go right, or that the military does what the military does, and they put boots on throats and they get it done as quickly as humanly possible. But I worry about this stretching out. Let's go to Brian on the road. He wants to talk about Hegseth in Iran. What's up, Brian?
Hey, man, I want to say, Chris. 4 to 6 week timeline was what they knew at the time, maybe. I think he left himself open for it to be longer, and it's not his fault, but it's not. The guy's giving them grace. President Trump has given the world grace, and they don't want to come to our side. And, you know, I don't even like to say I'm right about things. My wife says sometimes, you think you're right about everything. I say, well, I wouldn't say it if I didn't think I was right.
Well, yeah, I've heard Murphy say that too. He's like, oh, people tell me I think I'm right about everything. He's like, would you say something if you thought you were wrong?
Yeah, would you say something stupid and say, you know what, I think we're so stupid for getting in this conflict. I don't call it a war. But I do agree. I wish they would go in and end it. But how do you do that? He's trying. There are people in Iran that matter. They're God's creatures just like we are. That a lot of them are worshiping the wrong way, I think. They did that in Israel. But, you know, I just think we need to give him some grace. And if it's a dynamic situation, bro, all this stuff is changing. Can you just imagine, can anybody imagine if we had Kamala or Joe Sleepy or some incompetent Democrat running this show? I mean, we had to take action. They kept pricking it.
But this is one of my things, and this is why I think we need to be a little bit more critical. Could you imagine the conservative response if all things being equal, Kamala Harris had bombed the Natanz facility, took their nuclear capability out, argued with the press, said it was obliterated, completely destroyed, and then less than a year later had to go back in to do it again, how insane the conservative side of the aisle would be going?
That would never happen. I can't even imagine that. You know that too.
But
that would never happen.
If all things were equal and Kamala Harris bombed their nuclear facilities and then they said that they completely obliterated them, they took them out, they sent them back, 20 years, 30 years, and then we were back in there doing it again less than a year later, what would the conservative reaction be?
If that happened, I think I'd be all for it. I'm for eliminating.
Brian, you wouldn't have called her out and said that you said a year ago that you destroyed it?
Well, everybody knows Trump embellishes a little bit, but that's his
all I'm
MO.
saying though is when Hegseth calls out the media and he points out the Afghanistan withdrawal and he says that you guys said that it was the greatest airlift of all time, and we all can look at that and be like, objectively, that is trash. I mean, then we have to be a little bit more critical on the conservative side, or we are just the same as the left wing.
I get that a little bit, but I think we've always been self-critical, and that's probably one of our hang-ups, is that the Democrats, everybody says they stick together, and we don't. I'm not a Republican. I'm a libertarian with a small L, just like Matt Murphy and you probably. I don't argue on behalf of Republicans, but on another subject, I think that Hegseth may be a good president someday. Nobody's talking about that. That guy's a real deal. I'm proud that he lived in Tennessee. I don't know if he still does, but he lived down the road from me, not too far. And I'm proud to call him a fellow Tennessean right now. He's making me very proud. He went through a lot of crap when Trump named him, but Trump is a smart guy, a brilliant guy who picks these young people that have a lot of years left. That was not by happenstance. It's like you said before. I think I've heard you this week talk about his first term. He was surrounded by ding-dongs.
No, he's surrounded by neocons.
He wasn't a politician. He's now becoming a politician. I don't know about that. I think he's my kind of guy. I'm not a politician. I don't like politicians. In fact, I've got a shirt that says defund the politicians. And also on that subject, I'm going to bring you a shirt soon. I've designed a shirt for you. If you'll wear it, I think you'll really like it. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'll just drop it by the studio one day.
All right. Sounds good, man.
I just got, I don't like to, well, I do like it when you're self-critical, when you're critical of the people we're for, but at the same time, I mean, I can't imagine being somewhere else. I just can't, by God's grace.
Yeah.
Thank you, bro. Have a good day.
Hey, I appreciate you calling in. I do agree with you, Brian. I like Hegseth a lot. I love what he has done as the Secretary of War. I love that he has eliminated the DEI crap, that he's taken a hard stance against the mental illness, the transgenders in the military. I like that he's brought back the physical fitness recruitments. I like a lot of what he's doing. I loved when he gave that speech a few weeks back where he had the room full of all of the generals, and he said, listen, if you're fat, you probably shouldn't be in this job. I loved it. I do. I think that he is doing an awesome job. That being said, I mean, I got a text here. It's like, Chris, you're talking out both sides of your mouth, buddy. Pick a side and stand with it. I think the conversation is nuanced. I think that there can be objective truths here, like the military destroying a lot of Iran in a very short amount of time. But I also look at this Islamic death cult that is running Iran and think they'll go on. They'll keep going. And if they got China and Russia pumping some money, pumping some weapons, helping them out behind the scenes, giving them satellite info, you absolutely could see this being a prolonged conflict. Like 100%. How could you not? And I'm not a fan of that. Maybe that is me talking out both sides of my mouth. Maybe it's not. 615-737-9986. That's the phone number to call. We got Jay and Charles. Both disagree with me. We'll talk to them. What do they disagree about? Do you know?
You'll have to find out. Keep listening.
Something says, one of them says Hegseth for president.
On a comment you just made, yeah.
And then the other one says, lies told Israel. Lies told by Israel, told to Israel?
About Israel.
Oh, we'll find out on the way. Hang on the line, Charles. Hang on the line, Jay. We'll get to your calls next. It's 9:51. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Coming up, an overnight crash on I-24 has now claimed 2 lives, and a popular airline appears ready to throw in the towel. Passengers could be left holding the bag. We've got those stories and more at 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
9:57 Super Talk 99.7 WTN. That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. Headlines on the way in less than 3 minutes. The show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Phone lines are open 615-737-9986. Let's go to Jay in West Nashville. What's up, Jay? How are you?
Hey, how's it going, Chris?
I'm good. What do you got?
And then I wouldn't call it attacking you. I'm loving the show lately. Your eyes are opening, bro. But no, that dude said Hegseth should be president. I about did a U-turn on 65, man. And then he says, I don't like government, but I'm proud of Hegseth becoming a politician. It's just like, I don't know. People need to get off Fox News.
Has Hegseth not done a good job amping up military recruitment? Has Hegseth not done it? Has he not done a good job calling out fat generals? Has he not done a good job calling out mental illness in the military? Has he not done a good job increasing the recruitment standards and the physical fitness requirements? I mean, like, what gripes do you really have with Hegseth?
I mean, we're in a war, and 160 children got killed the first strike we took, and he's still pushing for war. And every time the president talks, it's because of Hegseth or Jared Kushner. How come you guys?
I mean, how do you? But you don't necessarily know that. I mean, that's confirmation bias.
But he's saying that's coming out of Trump's mouth. That should be law, right?
Do you have a clip of Trump saying that coming straight out of his mouth that we're in the war because of Kushner and Hegseth?
He would rather Trump. Yeah, he said Heath. Actually, this is verbatim. I told Pete, hey, maybe we should bring the ships back, and Pete said, no, it's more fun blowing them up. So yeah, that right there is just one. But anyways, we got to get away from Fox News and CNN and this whole MAGA. MAGA's done.
Senator Mark Kelly is.
Oops, sorry. I don't think MAGA's done. Yeah. I mean, I think MAGA.
You think J.D. Vance is going to have a chance? J.D. Vance doesn't have a chance, man.
I mean,
changed his name 3 times.
I think
the listeners even know that? James Bowman. That's his real name.
I think it's too soon to tell. I do know the name change thing. That's weird, but I think it's too soon to tell on what the chances of J.D. Vance are or aren't. I think how this thing.
Zionism is over, bro. No Zionist is going to get elected. I can promise you that.
I mean, you can make that claim, but you got to.
There's a million me's out there. Now there's like 50 hillbilly Darrells that still listen to Fox News. There's a million me's right now, and they're only growing. So get out of
a million.
Muslims, this whole rhetoric.
Jay, a million U's isn't going to win the election, man.
Yeah, it is. It won it for Trump. I pushed so hard for Trump. I voted for Trump. It was the me's that got Trump. It was the independents. It was the young, thirsty people that really, really wanted change. And
that's true. That's true. I just don't think that the numbers that came over have fallen off at that rate yet. I think that they could, and that's one of the reasons why I want to get out of this conflict as quickly as possible. But I don't think that we're there yet. It's 10 o'clock. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning, 10 o'clock. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. And for the most part, we're looking at a partly cloudy day. Highs around 80 today. But this afternoon, there's a chance of strong thunderstorms. And Channel 4 Stefano DiPietro telling us that these are your garden variety thunderstorms.
The important thing to remember, there is no tornado threat to be concerned with. Your hail threat, your high wind threat, those are very low overall. Heavy rainfall is a little bit more elevated, but the ground is so dry. Rivers and creeks are running so low right now that major flooding is not a concern.
You can expect the weather to disrupt the commute home this afternoon. We're learning that a serious crash on I-24 early this morning has turned deadly. That crash happened in the westbound lanes around 12:45 near mile marker 67. That's in Smyrna. Here's News 2's Peyton Kennedy.
A Chevy Silverado drove into the back of a semi-truck. The passengers in that Chevy were killed. They are identified by THP as 72-year-old John Marlett and 58-year-old Lisa Wilner. The driver of the pickup truck is not currently facing any charges.
A hazmat team was called to that scene to clean up a diesel spill, too. A woman and 4 dogs have died in a Clarksville house fire. News 2 reports crews were called to the home on Sensini Circle yesterday afternoon by a couple of teenagers walking home from school who spotted the fire. Crews pulled an elderly woman from the house. She later died from her injuries sustained in the fire. A former executive at the Department of Veterans Affairs who oversaw the Electronic Health Record Modernization Project has been indicted for concealing thousands of dollars in cash and gifts that he allegedly received from government contractors while leading the project. John Hindem is a retired Navy captain. He was found to have thousands of dollars in cash, casino chips, and Louis Vuitton gift cards. DOJ said that Wyndham sometimes demanded the gifts and demanded contractors improve their DEI efforts and do it through his girlfriend's company. Well, hope you're not holding tickets for a Spirit Airlines flight. Bloomberg is reporting the airline may be preparing to liquidate as early as this week. Spirit has been in financial straits for years, filing for bankruptcy a couple of times.
Generally, when airlines liquidate, they immediately end operations and leave even passengers who have tickets already stranded with no employees even left to assist them. Now, some passengers who use certain credit cards to buy their tickets could get refunds that way, but that's not guaranteed. We did reach out to Spirit Airlines. They said in a statement, quote, "We don't comment on market rumors and speculation."
That's ABC's Matt Rivers. That is the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
It's 10:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners. You get those at betterwater.com. You can listen to the show anywhere, all the apps, the FM dial. You can watch the show as well. Supertalk TV up and running. YouTube and Rumble are the big ones. Facebook, Twitter, Twitch also there, but hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with your friends. Phone lines are open for you, 615-737-9986. Charles in Nashville disagrees with me. I'm not sure why, but Charles, welcome to the show. How are you?
Yeah, doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm good, man. What do you got?
Yeah, what I wanted to say was this whole war with Iran, your audience needs to realize, and they can do research on it because there's plenty out there, this war is not about nuclear weapons. It's not. It's about clearing the way for the greater Israel project. I'm sure you know what that is, right?
I mean, there's like two sides of this, right? Like
No.
Can you let me finish? Can you let me finish a thought? There are people out there that are saying all of this is because of the Greater Israel Project, and then there's other people out there in the conservative circles that are saying all of this is 5D chess to corner China. So I mean, there's different theories out there. There are people that say that Donald Trump is going into American manifest destiny, and that we're in a resource war, so we're going after Venezuela. Cuba's going to be next. This is a key issue, so that way we can strangle China and hold on to their oil. And then there's other people like you that it's like, no, this is all Israel. This is the Greater Israel Project, and I'm familiar with it. I mean, I've read all this online.
Bullshit, man! You are lying to your audience.
Nothing I said is a lie. Nothing I said is a lie. I said that. I don't know why are you yelling at me?
You are a liar, man.
All I said.
You're a shield for the Zionist regime.
Oh my
and
gosh!
This is an illegal
Here, hold
war.
on. I'm gonna put you on hold. I mean, you're on hold now. Take a deep breath. I'm not done with the conversation. What is the lie about saying that there's two theories online? What's the lie about? Where's the lie in that? Charles, I'm going to come back to you. I want you to be calm, and I want you to tell me what's the lie when I say that there's two theories online. You doing okay? You're back on the air.
Yeah. The lie is you're trying to cover up for Netanyahu. That's what you're doing. He is the most criminal. Hey, he's committed genocide in Gaza. Do you ever talk about genocide and the absolute hell that they've created in that region?
How often do you listen to my show? Because I literally mentioned the Gaza genocide yesterday when talking about conservatives interrupting J.D. Vance at the Turning Point USA event.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't. I'll give you that one.
But this is what I'm saying. Like Charles. I'm just trying to talk to you, man. I don't know why you're yelling. Like I don't think you're wrong for having these ideas. I think that we should talk. I'm not trying to cover up anything. I'm going to give you all the time that you want.
Yes, you are.
I'm going to give you all.
I made the statement, and it's absolute truth. Get online. Tell your audience, get online and search it. There's a lot of
everybody has the internet, just like you, dude. They're more than welcome to.
Right, and they can find out the truth. This war is not about nuclear weapons.
But no. Hey, Charles, you come on.
An agreement in
hey,
place.
I'm gonna have to put you on hold again, man, because you're losing it.
I'm not losing it because you don't want to hear the truth.
I think that you're wrong. Nothing you're saying scares me.
Israeli lobby, most likely.
Oh my gosh, here we go. Yep, you're right. You're right. I'm paid off. If I was paid, Charles, if I was paid by Israel, why on earth would I answer a phone call from a guy that the call screener wrote down lies told by Israel? If I'm paid by Israel, I just don't answer your phone call. Well, if I'm a Zionist and I'm controlled by Zionism, why on earth would why would I even let the Greater Israel Project be mentioned on the airwaves? Like, do you understand how easy? Time out. You know how easy it would be to avoid the conversation altogether? Super easy. And I give you the airtime because I'm not afraid of the conversation. If you want to say that I'm controlled and I'm covering for Benjamin Netanyahu, I don't even necessarily like Benjamin Netanyahu.
Well, he's an evil bastard, and he should be in prison.
Okay, that's your opinion.
He should hang.
That's your
he should hang
opinion.
for his crimes.
What?
He's a criminal.
Okay.
And Trump is a criminal too.
And
criminals murder.
Oh my gosh, you're losing it. Like
No, I'm not
before,
losing it.
yes,
No,
you are. Before I can even finish my point, you're yelling about something else. What I was going to say is actually, sir, half of Israel agrees with you that Benjamin Netanyahu is a war criminal. Half of Israel.
No, they don't.
They don't. Half of
That's
Israel before the October 7th Hamas attacks were out in the streets protesting Benjamin Netanyahu. So go ahead and display your ignorance a little bit more.
Yeah, they want him out because he's corrupt. But you know.
So I said, you're moving goalposts. I said that half of Israel doesn't like Benjamin Netanyahu. Before the October 7th attacks, half of Israel was protesting him. And they go, well, yeah, because he's corrupt. Like, okay, but two seconds before that, you said, no, they don't. So which is it?
Well, yeah, they're against Netanyahu, but they're not against the genocide in Gaza.
Okay.
You know, those people in Israel, they're the most radicalized, brainwashed people on earth.
How much time have you spent? How much time have you spent in Israel?
I've spent a lot of time studying what goes on there.
That was not my question.
I've talked to a lot of
that was not my question.
You know,
how much time have you spent in Israel?
How much time have you read?
How are you going to judge an entire population base based on the disagreements and the anger that you have with their current leader? Do you feel that would be fair for any other country to do to us when Joe Biden was in office?
I've seen a lot of interviews of Israelis, and I know how they think. And I've talked to a lot of Israelis online, and I know how they think. They don't like Christians. They think
how many people live in Israel?
I don't know, 9-10 million people.
Okay, so have you spoken to 1 million Israelis? Have you spoken to 2 million Israelis? How many Israelis have you spoken to that gives you the opinion
that I originally called about? Let's get back to my original subject.
I'm just trying to
about nuclear weapons.
Okay.
It's about the Greater Israel Project.
Okay.
You know, General Wesley Clark, 20 years ago, made it known to the world that the Israelis and the American government has an agenda to take out 7 countries in 5 years. They're late on that.
Libya, Syria, Iraq.
For a long time.
It's Libya, Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan, Iran. What were the other two? It was it Kuwait or Qatar, something like that?
Yeah, Sudan. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of. But Iran is the last one, and the reason they want to do this is
so they don't have a central bank.
Greater Israel Project. That's the reason.
They don't have a Rothschild-controlled bank, and it's for Greater Israel.
It's for Greater Israel Project because hey, if you look at the Israeli soldiers, the idea of soldiers, they wear a little patch of the outline of the Greater Israel Project, and it goes from the Euphrates from the Nile River, and that's they've been brainwashed since birth. They think they're God's chosen people. They think God gave them their land, which is just total fucking bullshit.
No, I mean, hey, can you hit the dump button for me, Mason? Because he said BS. I mean, what you're saying is theories online. You said you spoke to a lot of Israelis. You're making a lot. You have a lot of confirmation bias on this.
It's not a theory.
Okay, well, fine. You're right. You're right. You are 100% correct, Charles. You nailed it. Do you find that you win people over with this approach?
I don't care if I do or not because you've got your agenda. You've got your agenda. You've been brainwashing your audience for years. Even that guy that, from people before you guys, they got on there and told all kinds of lies.
Okay, so I'm getting blamed for other people that were on the radio station before I started working here too.
No, you just got the same agenda. I'm not blaming you.
What's my agenda?
I do blame you for your lie because you know you're lying.
What's my agenda?
You know you are.
What's my agenda?
You're shilling for Israel, for the Zionist regime.
Okay.
That's your agenda.
Okay.
That's your agenda.
I mean, listen, dude, Charles.
This war is not about nuclear weapons.
Charles, if you truly believe any of this, you got to change your approach because the way you approach this conversation, you're not winning hearts and minds.
I don't care. I'm just telling you.
Okay,
the truth.
so you don't care. You don't care that it's happening, but you're trying to warn people, but you don't care that your approach isn't going to work. I'm just trying to help you out, man. Best of luck in all of your future endeavors. Let's go to Michael in Nashville. What's up, Mike?
Yeah, this guy amazes me that you just talked to. I mean, he don't understand that the people in Israel, the Jews, are God's people. And I think America was partly created to protect Israel. In Scripture, you can go all through Scripture, and it shows where God will always protect Israel. And, of course, America protects Israel more than any country ever. And people don't understand. Israel is always going to be protected. So when they condemn Israel, that's God's country, God's people. If they look at Scripture, they'll see that and understand it. But
yeah, I mean, it's biblical. The covenant's there. Some Christians disagree. The Catholics disagree. They say that the people are Israel now. I think that's the case. I don't know, dude. I'm not a theologian expert. I just trust Jesus. Me and my kids, we play a game where we'll flip the Bible open and then we just find the first thing in red, and then we read it. And that's, I mean, I'm not a religious expert by any stretch of the imagination. Let's go to Jack in Nashville. What's up, Jack?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, old Charles has been on too many .com websites, I guess. I don't know, but I will say this: you aren't going to reach anybody on this radio station by screaming and yelling about conspiracies that you've sat around and twiddled your thumbs on Facebook and read, and now you think that that's the truth, my guy. I hate to tell you, but you're beyond brainwashed.
And that's kind of like what, it's like, is Israel in the room with you right now? And I'm like, listen, like and I'm open to the conversation, and I'm open to the fact that maybe Israel has too much influence in our government. I'm open to the fact that AIPAC should register as a foreign agent, and I'm open to the fact that Benjamin Netanyahu is corrupt. Like I'm down for these conversations, but when you come in like that, you come in that hot, you're not winning over anybody. Like you're hurting your side, you're hurting your stance if that's your stance.
I mean, yeah, and if all the corruption and stuff is there, that's fine. Why does America care that much if he's that corrupt? Why are we trying to save him that much if he's that corrupt? We don't care. I hate to say this, but I don't think Netanyahu is our problem. I mean, sure, we are protecting the Israelis. We're protecting them, whatnot, but I don't think Netanyahu is necessarily our problem. I mean, if he were to leave tomorrow, America would still be over there protecting him. I don't think it's Netanyahu.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
I hate to tell you, buddy.
Yeah, no, I hear you, Jack, and I appreciate the call. Let's go to Bill in Charlotte. What's up, Bill?
Well, I just wanted to comment on the gentleman who was on the rant about the Greater Israel Project. I don't know if he's just sitting in his house at home on the internet. He almost sounds like an Ivy League professor. So I think he could do some research by getting and staying offline and just grab that old book that's probably got an inch of dust on it. It's called the Bible. And he'll understand there is a Greater Israel Project. And there'll be a man one of these days that puts his foot on the Mount of Olives that'll show him exactly what it is. But having said that, all this screaming about Netanyahu and genocide in Gaza and all this and that and the other, nothing is ever said about the people, whether it's Hamas, Hezbollah, the Iranians themselves, going in and using hospitals, schools as weapon caches and other things.
And they do it intentionally, so that way when we go after them, they can say, "Oh, the humanity, they bombed another hospital."
Yeah, and Netanyahu is not out there on the front lines, and I don't believe for a second that he is telling commanders out in the field, you go and target hospitals or you target schools and things like that, any more than the United States president told the field commander over the My Lai massacre. And Netanyahu's an easy target, but I doubt there's very few people, regardless of what it paid, that would be willing to do the job that he's done. And, this man's no stranger to tragedy. It was his brother, the lone person killed in the Entebbe raid, recovering the Israeli hostages in Uganda. So I think people ought to think twice before they start railing against Netanyahu. He's no angel, but much like with Donald Trump, we elected a president. We didn't try to elect a pope. So
Hey, I hear you, Bill, and I appreciate the call. 615-737-9986 if you want to join the conversation. Ron, and we got another guy on the line. Hang on. We'll get to your calls next. I did get a text from 0324. Did you see what 0324 said? They said the N in WTN stands for Netanyahu. we actually got paid $7,000 for that comment because we're controlled, occupied Zionists. It's 1023 Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
A high-profile murder-suicide in Virginia, and good news from the Labor Department. Those stories at 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
27 minutes past the hour. That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. Less than 3 minutes away from the headlines here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. There's big debate on the Super Text line. I had mentioned that the N in WTN stands for Netanyahu because we're obviously occupied and or Zionists.
And or.
But many on the Super Text line said, no, that's not true. That's fake news. The N stands for nincompoops. We'll fact check that during the commercial break. In the meantime, Ron is on the road. What's up, Ron? Welcome to the show. How are you?
Chris, what have you done?
What? What did I do?
The last couple of days, you have caught hell. Oh, my God. Everybody's been wanting a third party.
Yeah.
Well, we've got it. We got the Republicans, the Democrats, and the dumbass.
Okay.
I'm telling you, man, I want to give you encouragement to hang in there. We are finding out that how stupid some of these people are. But listen to this conservative station. I think they just hear about it, get on there for a little bit so they can raise hell.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think that there's nuanced conversations around all of these topics, and I think that that's where a lot of these conspiracy theories or radical takes spawn from. But like the more off the rails you get, the less people are willing to hear you out on your valid points you may or may not have.
I totally agree. I just want to give you some encouragement and let you know that a lot of us has got your back, brother. You hang in there. And we're not going to, I do food ministry, and Lord says you're not going to eliminate the poor, and I'm not trying to. So I'm telling you what, we're dealing with the evil side of America whenever these idiots call and raise Cain with you like that instead of trying to talk to you.
Yeah,
so I just want to tell you, we thank you. Many of us do, and you got many on the listener that will love you to death, and I think you're one of the best things that ever happened to this station. I've been listening to it for...
Oh, we lost Ron. Ron, if you're still listening, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate the call. Don't worry about me. I love this stuff. Like, Ask Mason. Every single day that we've gotten off the air the past couple of days, I've loved it.
He walks into the back and goes, that was a great show.
That was awesome. Like,
that was fun.
I do. Like, I have the most fun talking with you guys, and I love wild takes. I love unhinged conspiracies. I love the underbelly of the internet. I don't shy away from any of it, and I'm here for it. And if you have a take that is counter of what somebody says, like, you're always welcome to share it here because I think it's fun. 615-737-9986. Stephen, hang on the road. We'll get to your call on the way. He wants to talk about conspiracies in Israel. They'll probably need a little bit more time. We'll do it next on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. A murder-suicide in suburban Washington, D.C., as former Virginia Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax has shot and killed his wife inside their home and then killed himself. Fairfax County Police Chief Kevin Davis saying it came amidst the couple's divorce.
Former Lieutenant Governor Fairfax was recently served some paperwork associated with an upcoming court proceeding. That apparently led to this incident last night. Both of their children, teenagers, the boys older than the girl, were in the house when it happened. So that's horrible news for the family. Certainly a traumatic event for those children to live through.
Yeah, the pair had been separated, but living in the home they shared with their children. Fairfax served as lieutenant governor under Governor Ralph Northam from 2018 to 2022. The Democrat had faced calls for resignation following sexual assault allegations against him in 2019. In Putnam County, an investigation underway into the death of a 7-month-old boy who was found unresponsive in a car parked outside the Monterey Public Library yesterday. News 2's Alicia Wemberly.
Multiple agencies, including Monterey Fire, Putnam County EMS, and the Putnam County Sheriff's Office, responded. Despite life-saving measures, the child did die. It's unclear how long he was in the car before first responders arrived.
Waiting for the results of an autopsy to be performed today, before police determine if charges will be filed. Fewer people filing for unemployment benefits last week.
Weekly jobless filings are considered a reflection of layoff activity and therefore stability in the employment market. In the week ending April 11th, 207,000 applications for state benefits were filed, a decline of 11,000. Last week's figure came in considerably higher than analysts were anticipating.
ABC's Jim Ryan. That is the latest news. We've got your weather up next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
So we got Gavin Newsom out here doing his absolute best to try and intimidate MAGA.
I'm sorry. I know some people's sensibilities. I respect and appreciate that. But right now, with all due respect, we're walking down a damn different path. We're fighting fire with fire, and we're going to punch these in the mouth.
You know, it's funny. I can't think of one person that's actually intimidated by Gavin Newsom. Okay. I stand corrected. That Chinese kid looked pretty intimidated. 37 minutes past the hour. Super Talk 99.7 WTN, where the N stands for, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I thought about it. Not going to do it. It stands for Netanyahu.
Let's go.
The show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. It's the first time in a long time I've been accused of being a Israeli shill Zionist, but I'm here for it. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, if you're getting paid, you better be sharing that with me.
I wish I was. I haven't been offered anything. I'm open to negotiate. How much money are we talking? Oy vey. right? I can fit in. I can do it. Let's go to Steven on the road. He wants to talk about conspiracies in Israel. What's up, Steve? Thanks for holding, man. I appreciate it.
My man. How's it going, man?
I'm good. What do you got?
Well, man, I feel sorry for these people that are lost in all these conspiracies and that are against Israel and everything right now. I can understand why, because of the internet, because of the news channels. And, I mean, I used to really like Tucker. Tucker's kind of unhinged a little bit right now on the Israel thing. Candace Owens is really far into it.
Yeah, I mean, Candace aside, there are people that I'm like, Tucker, I think Tucker went a little too far calling Donald Trump the Antichrist. But, like, I'm still like, I agree with, like, 90% of the stuff that Tucker says, and it's like.
I know.
So I don't want to throw out all these guys just because we disagree on one topic. I think that is so silly to do. Candace, there's other reasons why I'm not vibing with her. But, Alex Jones, Tucker Carlson, it's like we agree on a lot. Whether you think their take on this is right or wrong, they agree far more with you than a liberal Democrat does.
Yeah, and some of the stuff they're saying is true, but you don't hate an entire nation of people just because of the greed that's within that is at the top in some spots and everything. But the main picture is what people are taking their eyes off is, I mean, I just look and see, you got Islamic extremist terrorists and warlords that have been plotting and planning to destroy these people for so long. But, how many Israelis or how many Jews have we seen walk into a mosque and blow up people? And how many Jewish people have we seen plot to do terrorist acts in those other countries? I mean, we're in Lebanon right now. We're really not fighting Lebanon. We're fighting Islamic extremists within Lebanon. We're doing their job for them within their own country. And the same goes for Iran, too. I mean, we had the conflict in Gaza. Look what happened there. The reason why we went into Gaza, or the reason why they went into Gaza and had to do what they had to do, is because, think of it like this. If your neighbor came across the street and started destroying your property and trying to kidnap your kids and killing your wife, I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, so.
Yeah, I don't know. I have some questions about the Gaza attack. I really do. And maybe.
I mean, they're just sick of it.
Yeah, but I mean, and I appreciate the call on the Gaza attack in particular. And this is an unpopular opinion, but I'll play it for you. I remember Charlie Kirk saying this, and it stuck with me because I thought that he made a lot of good points. And I'll just play it for you. I'll see what you think about it. But this was on the Patrick Bet David podcast, right, like maybe a few months after the October 7th terror attack.
Still have the same gut instinct that I did initially. I find this very hard to believe. I've been to that Gaza border. You cannot go 10 feet without running into a 19-year-old with an AR-15 or an automatic machine gun that's an IDF soldier, right? The whole country is surveilled. And so let me just kind of go through this. We don't talk about Israeli politics very often, and most Americans don't know this. The last 9 months, Israel was on the brink of civil war. It's not an exaggeration. This judicial stuff, there were hundreds of thousands of Israelis taking to the streets because Bibi Netanyahu was basically redefining the Israeli constitution. That's not an exaggeration, right? But I think some questions need to be asked. Was there a stand-down order? Was there a stand-down order? 6 hours? I don't believe it. Israel's the size of New Jersey. When I took a helicopter ride from Jerusalem to the Gaza border, it's 45 minutes. Wow. 6 hours. Did somebody in the government say stand down? That is a legitimate, non-conspiracy question.
100%. And it's a question that makes a lot of people uncomfortable. But it doesn't make me want to paint the entire Jewish Jewish people with a broad brush and say you're responsible for this. I think that all governments are capable of evil, every single one. So I mean, people will call me a Zionist. Like, would a Zionist even entertain a question like that? You let me know. Fred in Nashville wants to talk about Christian Zionism. What's up, Fred?
Yes, Chris. Hear a lot of people calling in thinking that we are obligated to Israel. If you really study history, around 1830, a person by the name of John Nelson Darby and C.I. Schofield developed the doctrines of dispensationalism, pre-tribulation rapture, and Christian Zionism. And the Rothschilds had their hand in that. If you study the Bible from the beginning to the end, God always blessed Israel when they obeyed him. When they did not, he turned them over to their enemies. And Israel right now as a whole is secular. There are very few Christians at all in Israel right now. Matter of fact, they have one of the largest homosexual parades
So
every year
funny.
in
You
Tel
literally
Aviv,
you took the words out of my mouth. Like, Tel Aviv is like the gay capital of the world in the Middle East, or it's the gay capital of the Middle East.
Absolutely. God blesses those that bless his people. And pure religion undefiled before God and man is to visit widows and orphans in their affliction and keep yourself unspotted from the world. That's pure religion. And you've got televangelists today like John Hagee who teaches that Jewish people don't have to be saved. We all have to go the way of the cross, whether we're Jew, Gentile, Muslim, whatever. Religion will not save us. It's only in the blood of Jesus Christ.
Amen. There's only one way to the Father, and it's through the Son.
way.
Yep. I'm with you.
We must go that way. And there's a lot of people today that are misguided, thinking that we're obligated to Israel and rebuilding a third temple over there. Those people are going to fall into Antichrist deception. The third temple is us who carry the Holy Spirit of God. We are the third temple, not a building. God does not dwell in buildings. He dwells in people that carry the Spirit of the living God. And this is the truth. And people are being lied to and deceived that we need to help all these people and all this. Also in Revelation, it says there are those that say they're Jews but are not and are of the synagogue of Satan. Matter of fact, that flag they have, that's not the Star of David. That comes from Solomon when he was backslid and worshiping all the false gods of the women that seduced him. It's a hexagram. It's also used in witchcraft. And Israel blackmails us. They have control over a lot of our senators, our congressmen. They bought them off. Charlie refused to take the money, and Charlie was against this war. And the more evidence I'm seeing Israel's hand in the assassination of Charlie.
Why would you think that Israel killed Charlie Kirk?
Because he was against the war. And also Kent.
Okay, but
you may not know this or not.
well,
Kent that just resigned.
Joe Kent aside. Let's put Joe Kent aside for a second.
Okay.
If
well,
Israel,
let me explain.
Hold on, if Israel could kill Charlie Kirk, why would they do it out in front of everyone? And why wouldn't they have just, I don't know, hacked in and crashed his plane, or forced a car accident, or something a little less obvious? If they're so equipped, so advanced, so able to do this, why wouldn't they have made it look a little cleaner? And to the scripture stuff, I'm not a scripture expert. I mean, I follow you up until the Revelation stuff. I'm not going to be the expert here, but on the Charlie stuff, The kid's dad turned him in. The kid was a leftist, furry, gay person with a transgender boyfriend. Like, so.
Okay.
If I had an inkling that my son didn't do it, you think I wouldn't have been on the Candace Owens podcast like week one? Week one. Why haven't we heard a damn thing from his dad who turned him in? Maybe it's because he did it.
Well, have you ever thought all that's a sham? I mean, the ATF has already confirmed now that rifle is not the weapon that was used, and a lot of people believe
I'm gonna have to fact check that. When did the ATF confirm that was not the weapon that was used?
Oh, that came out 2-3 weeks ago.
Okay, I didn't see that. But the all-powerful Mossad in Israel did such a sloppy job that they left the wrong gun.
No, it was either his mic or it was something underneath there.
So you're in on. So again, you're in on the exploding mic. So the mic exploded.
No, I'm
but
not
there was a patsy.
in on it.
But there
I'm
was a
not saying that
patsy.
was
But
it.
this is what I'm saying, man. Like all of this is so out in left field when like the most obvious
No, it's
answer
not.
is right there in front of you. Why on earth could it
Have
not
you
have been
seen-
a leftist furry with a transgender boyfriend taking out who they think
Chris.
is one of the most dangerous people to their movement?
Chris, have you seen the video of the 3 guys after he was shot? The first thing you would want to do would try to stop the bleeding. One guy reaches over there and takes his mic or something with a smile on his face and hands it off to someone else. Have you not seen that video?
I literally know a lot of those people that are in those videos personally.
Have you seen that video?
I've seen just about every video on the internet.
Okay, you've seen
Have you
the
have you
video
seen
of the
have you
guy
seen have
passing
you seen
off?
have you seen the one with the dude in the brown shirt where he pulls up his sleeve a little bit and that's clearly a sign that it's time to explode the microphone? I mean, like we're so off. We're so off in retarded conspiracy theories. I don't know what to tell you.
No, it's not. Well, I can tell you that today's conspiracies are tomorrow's headlines. You know.
Okay, but
everybody's being
if, again,
deceived
then I just go
even
then I
Jesus
just go
Christ.
back. Then I just go back. I just go back to if Israel is so great and so powerful, then how on earth could they have done such a sloppy job that Fred in Nashville has cracked the case?
Let me leave you. With
I mean, I'm just being honest. Like, I'm not even trying to be rude to you. I'm just like seriously,
Okay.
like
Let me
Israel.
leave you with this,
They're
Chris.
so powerful that
Jesus
one guy
said,
speaking
"It's a
out,
day."
one guy speaking out was too much for them to handle. So they had to assassinate him, but they didn't do it with a plane crash. They didn't hack his car like they did with Michael Hastings. They didn't, they didn't take him out like off in a distance. They did it in front of everybody. They left the patsy on the roof. They left behind the wrong gun, and we got it on video. It was the microphone exploding. Like sloppy job, Mossad. Sloppy job. Like what? How?
Chris, this has
they
been
can't
going
both.
on ever since JFK.
They can't be going.
This kind of stuff's been going on ever since JFK, whether you refuse to accept it or not. Jesus said in the last days the deception would be so great, even the elect of God would be deceived.
Are you not worried? Are you not
You're
worried, Fred?
misguided, my
Are
brother.
you not
You're
worried?
misguided.
Are you not worried that
you're the one misguided, my brother.
you're the one pointing at me
You're
saying
misguided.
deception? You're so deceived. Are you
You're
not worried?
misguided.
Are you not worried that you have been deceived, Fred?
No, you're deceived, and you're deceiving people. And the other guy that called on there about Greater Israel, he's correct in a way, but yet you're right, his methods are wrong. You're not going to reach people like that. But, I mean, the truth is the truth.
Okay.
And,
Have you
when Pontius Pilate
have you
had
reached out?
Christ
Have
in
you
front
reached
of
out?
him, he could not recognize the truth standing right in front of him.
Have
He
you-
said, what is truth?
Have you reached out to the FBI with these groundbreaking discoveries?
The FBI is corrupt, Chris. You know that. I know that. It's corrupt. If it wasn't, a lot of our politicians would be in jail right now over the Epstein thing. You know that.
I don't
there's no justice there.
I don't vibe with the fact that
What about
Israel
Howard
killed.
Lutnick? Why hasn't Howard Lutnick been fired?
I literally called for him to be
I
fired
voted
on my
for
show.
Trump 3 times.
I called for him
I
to be
voted
fired
for
on my
Trump
show.
3 times.
I've called for Howard Lutnick to be fired. I think that was a mistake. think that was a mistake.
Okay, I voted for Trump 3 times.
I voted for him
Why
6.
hasn't Trump fired him?
Your guess is as good as mine. I'm not in those rooms. Do you have answers everywhere else? Tell me.
No, it's corruption.
Okay.
That's our main problem. There's corruption everywhere.
Okay.
And we're being lied to constantly by the media, and people are accepting it, and they're deceived. And you're misguided, too. I'm sorry.
Okay, but there's no chance at all that you have been deceived.
No, not at all, because I'm trusting in the Holy Spirit and discernment from God Almighty.
Okay. I appreciate the call, Fred. It's 10:53. We got some breaking news on Lebanon and Israel. A 10-day ceasefire has been reached. We'll talk about that when we get back. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand for my friends at Parker Safes and Vaults. I'm talking to Aaron all the time. He's the owner of Parker Safes and Vaults, and he is one of the best. Have you heard of Parker Safes and Vaults? They're our veteran-owned, family-run safe and vault door business right here in Middle Tennessee. And let's be honest, a lot of us want a safe, but we don't really know where to start. Like, what are we going to buy? Where do we have to put it? Do we have to get it installed? These are the questions that Aaron and his sons answer every single day. They'll help you choose the best safe for your needs. They'll help you find the best place to put it. They'll deliver it, and they'll carefully install it themselves. Now, these guys are absolute pros. They do a detailed video review of every safe that they have in stock on their YouTube page. Search Parker Safes on YouTube and find those videos. And on top of that, they have some great deals going on right now. Tons of safes in stock, ready to go. Not the big box store cabinets that can be tipped over by a teenager. These are quality safes from American Security, Rhino, Liberty, Heyman, and more. Don't put it off any longer. Call Aaron Parker at Parker Safes and Vaults today. 931-842-6445, 931-842-6445, or find them online, parkersafes.com.
All right, drivers in Laverne, we've got a medical emergency right now. You're going to have to get over for. This is on the right shoulder. It's at 24 westbound at Old Hickory Boulevard. That's going to be exit 62. President Trump says Israel and Lebanon have agreed to a ceasefire. We've got details on that and other top stories coming up at 11 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom, and I hate to blow a tease, but I teased it before you teased it, so I think I'm still in the right.
That's quite all right, Brother Chris Hand.
Donald Trump moments ago on True Social. I just had excellent conversations with the highly respected Joseph Aoun. Is it Aoun?
Sounds good to me.
Aoun of Lebanon and Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu of Israel. We can't keep letting him get away with it. Sorry. He said, these two leaders have agreed that in order to achieve peace between their countries, they will formally begin a 10-day ceasefire at 5 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday. The two countries met for the first time in 34 years here in Washington, D.C., with our great Secretary of State, Marco Rubio. I have directed Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Rubio, together with Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Dan Raisin Kane, to work with Israel and Lebanon to achieve a lasting peace, all caps. It has been my honor to solve 9 wars across the world, and this will be my 10th. So let's get it done, all caps, President Donald J. Trump. Then he followed up with, in addition to the statement I just issued, I will be inviting the Prime Minister of Israel, Bibi Netanyahu, and the President of Lebanon, Joseph Aoun, to the White House for the first meaningful talks between Israel and Lebanon since 1983, a very long time. Both sides want to see peace, all caps, and I believe that will happen quickly. President Donald J. Trump. So he's inviting Benjamin Netanyahu back to the White House. What's that now? 10 times? Too many times.
10th time's the charm.
The internet's going to lose their mind. He's back again.
He's back.
It's 11 o'clock. Peace deals in the works. We'll have more updates in the news with Ken Weaver, which starts right now on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Eleven o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Again, drivers, we've got a medical emergency in Laverne. It is on the right shoulder of 24 westbound at Old Hickory Boulevard. That's going to slow folks down there trying to get by because you need to get over for these first responders. Operation Epic Fury. As you just heard, President Trump says Israel and Lebanon have agreed to a 10-day ceasefire set to start at 4 o'clock Middle Tennessee time this afternoon. Meanwhile, efforts to bring peace between Iran and the United States continues, but Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth had this warning to the Iranians this morning.
Our capabilities are not the same, our military and yours. Remember, this is not a fair fight. And we know what military assets you are moving and where you are moving them to.
And according to a new report from Bloomberg, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission is investigating some suspiciously timed trades related to the Iran war. We get more from ABC's Elizabeth Schultze.
We first saw this back on March 23rd. Billions of dollars in oil futures were traded just about 15 minutes before President Trump announced on Truth Social that he would be delaying a threat to target Iran's power grid. And then we saw it happen, a similar pattern, just a couple weeks later on April 7th, when we saw a very big spike in volume in oil futures ahead of the president's announcement that there would be a ceasefire. So this has certainly raised eyebrows.
Here in Tennessee, a 7-month-old baby died after being left in a hot car. Kids and Car Safety says the child found Wednesday in a vehicle parked outside a library in Monterey. It is the second child hot car death reported in the U.S. this year. And the Wilson County School Board expected to vote today on adding more weapon detection system for schools. Leaders considering the purchase of 4 roving scanners at a cost of nearly $450,000. The devices would be used at both middle and high schools throughout the district. Wilson County already uses similar systems at several campuses, including Barry Tatum Academy. And actor Val Kilmer may have passed away last year, but a team of directors say, with the blessing of his family, that he is able to appear in the film, a film that is, thanks to generative AI. We get more from ABC Sam Champion.
The new trailer for the film As Deep as the Grave, giving viewers their first look at an AI-generated performance from the late star just a year after he passed away at the age of 65, following a long battle with throat cancer. Kilmer's likeness is seen multiple times at different ages. It was created using a state-of-the-art generative AI model after the star was too sick to shoot his role in the movie.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Sick.
.1106 Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can listen to the show anywhere, all the apps on your phone, the FM dial. You can watch us as well. Super Talk TV up and running on YouTube and Rumble. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with your friends. On the way in the lightning round, there's a video that you are definitely going to want to see. You remember that story that we covered a couple weeks ago where the elderly principal in Oklahoma tackled a would-be school shooter?
Yeah.
So that's going to be the first story in the lightning round because they've released the security footage of him tackling that shooter. So join us over on YouTube so you can see it. I'll do my best John Madden play-by-play during the lightning round on it, but there's no video because it's a security camera.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no audio. So
I was like, hold on.
There is video. There's no audio because it's a security camera. So I'll do the play-by-play, but you're going to want to join us on the stream for that. Lightning round kicking off at about 11:35. I got a couple people that want to jump in on the Israel conversation. I'm fine to do it. I don't necessarily want to do it all day. There's other stuff that we want to get to. And I have a story here that I think is rather important. Could be fake news. Could be. Take it with a grain of salt. But if it is true, it could point to this conflict being more elongated with Iran than anybody is really comfortable admitting. It originally appeared in the Wall Street Journal, which isn't, I don't know, it's not terrible. It's not terrible for the fake news. It's not great. But this is the story. The Pentagon has approached major U.S. automakers, including Ford and General Motors, about helping to expand America's military supplies, marking the first time since World War II that large manufacturers have been asked to contribute directly to the country's munition stock. That's a little wild, right? Now, I know we've gone through a lot of missiles since we jumped into this conflict with Iran, but this news is insane. If it's true, again, take it with a grain of salt. Nobody in the government has confirmed this, but they say discussions have been held among senior defense officials and the chief executive officers of General Motors and Ford Motor. People familiar with the conversation have said, "There's your little, just in case we're wrong." According to the Wall Street Journal, as the Trump administration looks to boost production of military equipment, as the conflicts in both Ukraine and Iran have drained stocks. Both Ford and General Motors are well known for their contributions to the American war effort during World War II, building aircraft, transportation vehicles, engines, and other various and necessary parts used in military equipment. Defense officials have framed the request to automakers as a matter of national security, the Journal reported. Discussions remain preliminary, according to the newspaper, and no official contracts have yet been announced. A Pentagon official said in a statement to Newsweek that the Department of Defense is committed to rapidly expanding the defense industrial base by leveraging all available commercial solutions and technologies to ensure our warfighters maintain a decisive advantage. The department is aggressively pursuing and integrating the best of American innovation wherever it resides to deliver the production at a scale and drive resiliency across supply chains. But that's not a necessary confirmation that they have reached out to these these auto manufacturers. They might have. They might have. It's not 100% confirmed. That's a story we're paying attention to. Alice in Gallatin has been holding for a minute. What's up, Alice? How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. What do you got?
All right. So I am a trans Republican. You could kind of liken me to Blair White in that regard.
You're a trans Republican?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I certainly am. I'm raising children. It's the only thing that makes sense to me right now. I live in a world that if I see the leftists take over, then I see no chance for my children. So I really do get behind the Republican cause.
Wait. You're a trans Republican raising children?
Yes, I am. All by myself, actually, if we're being honest.
Are you male to female?
Yes.
Are the kids biologically yours?
Yes.
Okay. How does that make the dynamic in the household?
It's honestly, at first it was a little bit difficult, but everything's kind of come around.
Okay, so you tell me. Hold on. I'm honestly very curious, and I've not had a conversation with a trans Republican who is raising children.
I'm more than willing to answer any question you have, Chris.
Perfect.
I'm a longtime listener. I've been listening since before Uncle Phil was a thing.
Okay, perfect. So, how old are the kids?
My kids are within the household are 14 and down. I have a 19-year-old that's on her own.
Okay, so how many kids do you have?
I have 5 total.
And did mom leave when you went full trans?
No, that wasn't the case. She actually kind of sealed herself off behind a door for years and years. And
was this as you were transitioning?
No, it was before then. I transitioned after the fact. My transition wasn't a cause or effect, really, of what was going on with all that.
How old was your youngest child when you transitioned?
He was about 5.
Now, this is I'm just gonna be as open as I can be, and you can answer this or you don't have to.
Absolutely. Any question you have.
As a dad, do you feel like this was a selfish decision on your part, considering the emotional toll that this is going to take on your 5-year-old when they now have to have their dad showing up to school and looking like a woman when everyone knows that their dad is not a woman? Why on earth would you do that to a 5-year-old?
You're saying it as if I'm doing it to them.
I mean, you are.
Honestly, he's not lacking for anything. He gets everything that he needs in one way or another, especially in the male branding part. I don't have a partner. I'm not looking for one right now. I'm just trying to live my life. But in terms of my son,
but you don't view it.
He doesn't have to face embarrassment. I always make sure that I have fail safes in order.
But you didn't feel like you could have put this off 10 years until,
I was
10
going
or
to.
13 years until your kids
now-
were adults?
I'm sure that you have questions about it, but like towards the end of my divorce, or towards the end of how everything went, my partner had driven me into it because they had thrown out my secrets to my family, to my friends, to basically everyone around. And so I indulged in it because of that. There was no reason to hide anymore if every secret that you have has been thrown in the face of everyone you know.
I don't know. I don't think that's right to do to a
No,
5-year-old.
I know that's a hard one for you, but I did call in for one specific reason.
Yep, I apologize getting off track.
No, I completely understand, and I get these questions a lot. I totally get it. And in terms of why I called in, I feel like a lot of people are leaning on theology and the question of Israel, but I feel like they lose sight of what a strategic foothold Israel may be, especially within terms of how we have to deal and interact with the Middle East.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I am much more confused, and my mind is elsewhere after those comments.
Like I said, Chris, any question you got, here I am. Here's your chance.
I just don't know why
kids
you would
are
do
all
that to the
together.
kids.
None of them are lacking love. None of them are lacking the things they need. None of them are lacking.
Yeah, I'm not even questioning that. I just know that like it's an uphill battle. Dad is now mom.
Trust me, hon. My life has been strange since the day I was born. It doesn't get any unstranger. It's just going to get stranger as I go.
I feel like that is a not an accurate statement. I feel like you're making your kids' lives harder by making the choices that you're making.
No.
I mean, a 5-year-old can't
Um,
comprehend why you're doing this, but
No,
the
but-
kids at school can most certainly give him hell for it.
But they haven't. That hasn't even been a bridge that they've had to cross yet, if they have to ever cross it at all. I play football with my son. I teach him those things. I teach him how to fish. I teach him how to hunt. I sit and play dolls with my daughters. I don't necessarily see myself as having to hold up the LGBTQ flag for anyone because they were never there for me. I'm just trying to do the best I can with what I have.
Okay. Well, hey, best of luck to you. I pray that you get through this and you have a revelation of Jesus and that you change your ways. I don't have any malice in my heart towards you or anything like that, but I completely disagree with that lifestyle, and I adamantly disagree with you doing that to children. The children in your own home to make their life more difficult for your personal reasons. I don't. That's not something I vibe with, at all. I'm very thrown out of all the calls I've gotten this week. That one left me speechless. 615-737-9986. 615-737-9986. I don't know what the hell to do now. I'm very, whoa. Got weird fast, didn't it? People don't think it'd be like it is, but it do. People be transing. People be transing. Let's go to Pam in Centerville. What's up, Pam?
Hey, I'm just listening to the caller before me that has trans from a man to a woman and has children. I am a 69-year-old grandmother who has raised her autistic grandson since he was 6 months old.
God bless you.
The mother who has trans into a man, the father was my son, and he died from overdose 2 years ago. The things that my grandson has had to tolerate and go through, and sometimes I think, thank goodness he's autistic because he doesn't totally understand everything. He just goes with what's put in front of him, and I've tried to shield him from an awful lot. But he's now 15, and the kids at school, they give him hell. So for that man to think that his 5-year-old or any of his other children are not being ridiculed, he's got his head so far up his you-know-what, he can't even see straight.
I mean,
he needs to go get some mental counseling.
That's where my head went too, Pam. And I'm like, I don't know, like, why would you do that to a 5-year-old and make his, like, I feel like that's such a selfish decision. And again,
I won't go through telling you what else my grandson has had to go through. His mom, who he calls a male name. I'm not going to say it on the air because I don't want all her little gay friends just dogging me out on Facebook, which they have for years, because I stand up for my grandson's right
good for
to
you.
a normal person and to love God, to follow his commandments.
Yep.
He's very upset right now because he realizes that the Bible says this is not cool. We're not supposed to be this way. And he's afraid his mama's going to go to hell. So, and I'll tell you what I told my attorney several years ago. Jerry Springer's people should have called me and given me my own reality show, because you cannot make this stuff up. That I have been through these batshit crazy.
Hey, you gotta dump that, Mason.
Crazy. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cuss. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
But,
we've had a day.
Looney Tunes.
Well, Pam,
So
hey,
anybody who thinks it doesn't affect their child is.
yeah, I agree with you, and God bless you. God bless you for being in your grandson's life. Let's go to Jason on the road. What's up, Jason?
Hey, how are you, Chris?
I'm good. What do you got?
I was calling about the guy, the transvestite guy, and I got to give you a applause here. Way to pivot from Israel. You nailed that one for sure. But
way to pivot from Israel. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, that's
I had to. This is what happens when you start getting checks from Israel. There's a hotline that you can text into, and it's 1-800-Mossad. And then you text into 1-800-Mossad, and then immediately you get a trans Republican calling in to change to naturally shift away from the topic. That's hilarious. Yeah,
That's
it was master class.
Something in his water for sure.
Yeah.
But so he was. I don't think he was being honest when I listened to him, because he said he kept calling him his partner, so I guess maybe they weren't married, but whatever it was, I'll call it marriage just for the sake of this conversation. But he said his marital problems had nothing to do with it, and that it had nothing to, his transgenderism had nothing to do with his marital problems, and his marital problems had nothing to do with him starting to wear dresses. And that's not true, because later he said, no wonder his wife locked herself in a bedroom behind a wall, because she knew what he was doing, and he was obviously out there engaging in all this deviant sexual behavior while they were together. And then he said that because she outed him, then he just decided to go full bore, and who cares what happens to the kids, who cares what happens to anybody else. He's had his feelings hurt because of what he did to her,
right,
and made her so angry so his selfishness caused her to shut down, and because she shut down, that gave him a reason to just go hog wild with it, and he's just a
no
selfish
pun intended
person. Yeah, no doubt. But it's spiritual.
Yeah, I mean, it's demonic. It's demonic.
He's possessed, and he's spreading that to his kid. That influence. I pray for those kids.
Me too, man.
5 kids
Me
in that
too.
household.
And I'll pray for him too, man. Like, I really will. I pray he has a revelation of Jesus. I appreciate the call. Let's go to Sherry in Mount Juliet. Hey, Sherry, how are you?
It's Terry.
Terry, I'm sorry. How you doing, Terry?
Nope. Doing fine, thank you.
What do you got?
I want to talk about real quickly. I'm not going to take up a lot of time. I just want to clarify there is no such thing as a trans Republican. In our party, either you vote Republican or Democrat, which is fine. You're either transgender or you're not. That's fine. But there is no label called a trans Republican that we recognize.
Okay.
We have, in our guiding principles, we recognize that God created order is 2 biological sexes, a male and a female. No minor and under 18 years of age child should be subjected to any form of experimental treatment to alter or suppress their biological sex. We look at believe in the traditional family and the foundations of marriage between one man and one woman. I just wanted to make sure everybody's clear on that.
All right. Hey, I appreciate the call, Terry. Thanks so much. It's 11:23. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at Better Water LLC.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
If you're tired of weird smells, stains, or just plain old bad tasting water at the house or the office, these are the folks that you need to call. You can think of it as a giant Brita filter that goes for your whole house, or it can scale down for under your sink, or you can do it for your whole business. Now, these guys handle everything, and you might have some nasty chemicals in your water. We're talking sulfur, iron, chlorine, bacteria, even E. coli. Now, Better Water will come to your home today and test your water for free. And if you have any of the nasty stuff, well, they offer a range of options to clean it up and clean it up quick. Reverse osmosis, specialized filters, UV lights. Better Water has you covered, and these guys are total pros. They're already treating all of the local coffee shops and the hospitals. They're based out of Smyrna, and all of those spots around town are getting the treatment from Better Water. You should be getting the treatment from Better Water as well. The shower's going to feel better. The bathtub's going to feel better. The water's going to taste better. Stop drinking the junk out of your tap. Call 615-355-6063, 615-355-6063, or find them online, betterwater.com.
Okay, a new report.
All right, President Trump says we have an agreement for a ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon. You got to hear what Secretary of War Pete Hegseth had to say to our allies today. And Channel 4 says attorneys for families of two workers killed in last year's AES explosion are blasting the company's response. That's coming up at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. The show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. On the way in the lightning round, don't forget, we got video of the school principal in Oklahoma that took out a school shooter. You're going to want to join us on YouTube for that. That's going to happen after the headlines with Ken Weaver in about 2 minutes. Tony, our favorite Canadian, the mayor of Canada, is on the line. What's up, Tony? How are you?
Yes, hi, how are you? I was just listening, Chris, and the gentleman that called before was speaking of an ATF report that just came out that I got notified on my phone that says that there was a cartridge found next to the Mauser that was used, and it was the same gun and shell casing that would have fired that actual bullet. The actual
This is in reference to Charlie Kirk and his assassination.
Yeah. So what they said is they cannot conclusively exclude or identify that bullet to match that fragment because the fragment was so damaged because it hit bone. It's kind of graphic, the report, but what they're saying is that in separate reports they found DNA that matches the alleged shooter.
Yeah,
so and on a gun and on 3 of the cartridges.
So I have the report here, and it's, the defense they leaked that statement that the bullet didn't match, right? It's like, but you can't match the bullet because it's so broken up. And the internet ran wild with that. But yeah, you're absolutely correct, Tony. New reporting just about an hour ago from Fox News. The Utah judge overseeing the case, and I appreciate the call, Tony. The Utah judge overseeing the case against Charlie Kirk's accused assassin, Tyler Robinson, has unsealed a ballistics report from the Federal Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, and it could not conclusively match a bullet fragment to the suspected murder weapon, but confirmed a match with the spent casing. Then prosecutors have alleged that separate testing found DNA consistent with Robinson's on the gun, the towel, and 3 of the 4 rounds inside. The report's conclusion have been made public in prior court proceedings, but the document itself is now available from the court and includes some new details. The tested material includes a deformed, damaged piece of the bullet jacket as well as 4 lead fragments. So this is the latest that we're getting out of the Charlie Kirk assassination. Once again, everything is pointing towards Tyler Robinson. I'll probably get a $7,000 check from Mossad for that one, right? Is that what people will say? That's what people will say. It's 11:30, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Operation Epic Fury. President Trump says Israel and Lebanon have agreed to a 10-day ceasefire starting today at 4 o'clock, Middle Tennessee time. This comes after Lebanon and Israel met in Washington, D.C. for talks earlier this week. Meanwhile, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth had this message for U.S. allies who have since stayed out of the war on Iran during a morning news conference today.
You can't live in a world in perpetuity, and this is a message to the rest of the world and our allies, where you just rely on America to continually do the heavy lifting. Oh, Iran might get a nuclear bomb. Who's going to do something about it? America.
House Republicans, by the way, just blocked a war powers resolution meant to curtail U.S. military action against Iran. Channel 4 says attorneys for families of 2 workers killed in last year's explosion at Accurate Energetic Systems are not happy with the company's response. They say AES rejected a $150 million settlement demand just before a deadline.
They sent a T-shirt with the deceased loved one's picture on it to the families and a $50 gift card to Walmart. Needless to say, that's insulting.
They're now preparing potential lawsuits based in part on a state safety report citing dozens of violations, and they're also considering pushing for accountability from state and federal regulators. Big changes coming to a gaming platform that boasts over 150 million players every day. ABC's Jim Ryan says it took the threat of a lawsuit to get Roblox to tighten up protections for its youngest users.
The state of Nevada had threatened to sue, saying Roblox had become a prime hunting ground for child predators. Attorney General Aaron Ford says Roblox has now settled.
Part of this agreement, all users must undergo age verification to ensure children only have access to age-appropriate content on the Roblox platform.
The company also will fund an in-house law enforcement liaison to respond to safety concerns sanctions related to the gaming platform. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. And if you're dealing with back or neck pain, sciatica, herniated or bulging discs, knee pain, numbness in your arms or legs, you need to know about the Wellness Institute of Nashville. You probably already know about the Wellness Institute of Nashville, but you've been brushing it off and living with pain for what reason? Stop doing that. Dr. Mitchell and his team are the absolute best, and they have the most advanced technology in all of Tennessee. They're the only office in Tennessee with a brand new device. It's called the HydroWave, and that's going to stimulate your stem cells for real cellular healing. You pair that with non-surgical spinal and knee decompression, which is currently 47% off, and this is about it as advanced as it gets. You're not going to find opioids. You're not going to find surgery or painful injections. No, you're going to find the most advanced care that you can get. They're using anti-gravity machines, robotic lasers, and then they'll actually take the time to review your MRI and explain what's happening, but more importantly, how to fix it. Start a pain-free life. It is absolutely possible, and it's a phone call away. 615-246-5009, 615-246-5009, or you can find them online at painisbad.com. That's painisbad.com. Thirty-six minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? I'm Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. As we wind down, we get to this time of the show where we try to run through all the stories that we didn't get a chance to talk about, stories that wouldn't fill a whole segment, and we like to call it, we tend to call it, at times, we've been known to refer to it as the lightning round.
It's the lightning round with Chris Hand.
I kind of already gave the spiel about what the lightning round is. And then, I don't know if you noticed, I kept stalling when we would hit the music, and I did that just for Mason.
Sounded a little Russian there because you kept stalling.
Oh, all right. Duh. It's the lightning round. First story in the lightning round. You know that we have a local tie to this story? Did you know that?
I didn't know that until you let me know just a couple minutes.
I didn't know that until Larry on the text line let me know.
Hey, boys.
Ken went to school with an absolute boss of a hero.
Yeah.
So, newly released surveillance video shows the high school principal in Oklahoma tackling the school shooter before he could open fire on the children. And I mean, the video is up on Super Talk TV. If you want to join us over there, we're gonna be following this. Ken, you know this guy? You went to high school with him?
Kirk Moore, yeah, he was. He graduated in '84 from Pauls Valley High School. I graduated in '86. This is a man who was a born leader. Kirk Moore, thank God he became the principal of Pauls Valley High School.
Amen.
But growing up, he was involved in a lot of stuff, and he was always a leader. On the sport, I played baseball with him. He was practically a coach on the field. Frankly, he was better than a couple of the coaches we had. I mean, coaches would confer with him about things, and Kirk Moore is just a great guy, always a solid guy, and in no way, shape, or form is anyone who knows him surprised about what he did that day.
Well, I mean, an absolute hero. So if you're not watching on Super Talk TV, you're in the car, you don't have a chance to get over to YouTube where we're playing this video. The video starts with a gunman walking in to what looks like the lobby of the high school. You went to this high school. Is this the same front door that you used to walk in, Ken?
Very same one.
Okay, so you walk in. It's a big open area, and it appears that to the right of the shooter is a long bench that is in front of some windows immediately to his right. To his left, if he was facing forward, to his left and in front of him, like just to the left and in front of him, looks like what would be a door to the office. Is that correct?
Yes.
So that's kind of like where you go into the principal's office.
Yes. Yeah, that's where all the principal, the vice principal, and that's where the secretary is. That's basically the office of the high school.
Okay, so he walks in. He doesn't get past the threshold of the area between that bench and that door, and he's in the school for, at this point, 3 seconds. At 4 seconds, he has pulled out a firearm, and at 6 seconds, he is being tackled by the principal.
Yes, sir.
Incredible.
Yes, sir. And that's Kirk Moore.
Well, and just talk about like a God moment, the grace of God that Principal Moore wasn't in the bathroom.
Yes. Yeah, thank God he wasn't in some other part of the campus.
Well, and if you're watching the video with us, there's a student sitting on that bench directly to the right of the would-be shooter.
Yes.
If Principal Moore is a little bit further in that office, if he's not right at that door, if he had just stepped out to use the bathroom, if he sneezed, that student could have been shot and killed immediately.
Absolutely.
And the student, he sees the firearm cocked back and he freezes.
Yes.
And I'm not knocking him. That's just the reality. He froze. He just panic struck. And the shooter sets his eyes on that student, and that's when Principal Moore runs out and tackles him.
Yes, sir.
And if I recall correctly, he took a bullet to the knee during that.
Yes.
So as he runs in and he tackles the shooter, he does get one shot off, and it hits his knee.
Yeah.
And you can see it happen. I think it happens as he's being tackled onto the bench.
Right.
He gets tackled on the bench, and bam, there's the shot.
And then right before Kirk gets to him, that gun is pointed right at Kirk's head.
Yeah. I mean, he had just loaded the thing. It's crazy.
No hesitation.
No.
He just put his head down and went.
An absolute hero. And then another guy comes out, and I can imagine Principal Moore is barking orders at him.
Oh, yes.
Because he goes to help him hold down the shooter, and then he quickly backs off and goes and picks up the gun that he had removed from the shooter's hand.
Yes, sir.
Just wild. So you went to school with him?
Yeah.
Have you reached out to any friends? Is this like the talk of the town there?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm on a thread with some former classmates of mine, a text thread. We just kind of text back and forth, every other day, or just whenever somebody's got something to say.
Yeah.
And right before, we learned of this, one of them posted and, texted and said, has there been a shooting at the high school? All these, and they all still live in Pauls Valley. Well, most of them do. And so I started following it, and then I was able to confirm it, through my friends who live there.
Wow. And
then some other friends who aren't on the thread started texting me about what they were hearing that Kirk did.
Unbelievable.
And then sure enough, that's exactly what happened.
So
and I basically the first day you talked about it, I sent Kirk through on Facebook Messenger. I sent him that segment where you talked, and I said, "Hey man," I said, "you've always been a leader. Now you're a hero who saved lives, and everybody in Nashville knows about it because of Chris Hand."
Anecdotally speaking, this is the #1 show for absolute boss heroes that tackle school shooters. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, thank you for sending him that. And tell him we love him, man. We're praying for a speedy recovery.
I'll tell him, man.
Because that story is unbelievable. And like stories like that, I think it would give another would-be shooter pause.
Absolutely.
You
To know that there are people out there that they won't hesitate.
Yeah, man. And we need to highlight more stories like that. I mean, well, I hope we don't have to.
Well, yeah, exactly.
But you know what I'm saying? Like this guy, God bless him, Principal Moore, Kirk Moore, the absolute hero, total boss. But we'll if you haven't seen the video, you want to share with a friend, I'll retweet it for you so that way you can find it on social media at Chris Hand on Air. Nick Sorter, reporter, investigative journalist, was one of the first ones to post the security footage. I don't know where he got it, but he got it, and it's on my Twitter account at Chris Hand on Air. If you want to see it, if you weren't able to see it, that's Ken's buddy.
Yeah,
that's Ken's buddy.
Yeah, he's a great guy, and it just goes to show that even in these small towns, Pauls Valley's a town of about 6,500 people. It's a great little town. But, this guy was able to walk right into this school.
Don't sleep on psychos.
And it just goes to show that, we got to have deterrence even in these small towns, man.
Amen. I mean, I think, Principal Moore probably should have been armed.
I guarantee you Principal Moore, he would have used it had he had one.
Wouldn't have been the story would have been even a little bit cooler if instead of being in a hospital bed with a bullet in his knee, he would have been, anyway, I started blasting. That would have been, I would have been here for it. All right, well, absolute boss, and tell him we salute him, and we're just inspired by that. So that's really cool. Got another story for you here in the lightning round. If you thought Principal Moore was stunning and brave, wait until you hear about the illegal transgenders in California. What? Why'd you hang your head?
Shenanigans! Shenanigans!
Why? What?
What's just anything that comes out of California makes me shake my head.
This is a stunning and brave story. I'm told by the Democrat Party that this is equally as stunning and brave.
Doubt.
I'm just telling you, this is what they say. Transgender illegal aliens getting free boobs from California. That's what the reporting on the street is. Let's take a listen. I'm pretty sure this was Jonathan Cho behind the camera, who is a friend of the show, one of the best investigative journalists out there. I'm like 99.9% sure. I haven't texted him, but I'm pretty sure this is him. And he bumped into a transgender illegal alien.
What is your name again?
Jacqueline.
Jacqueline.
This is the first time I live in a shelter.
Yeah, a lot of Latino here, so definitely some are migrants or undocumented.
I think. And me as a trans woman,
Yeah.
I feel safe.
Were you able to get the hormones, or
Yeah, I did that with my doctor.
So Medi-Cal, you got the breast implants?
Yes.
Wow, taxpayer funded. So here in California, they gave you the breast implant here.
Yes.
Free.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. Stunning and brave. The Democrats will tell you that this undocumented person, no one's illegal on stolen land. He's undocumented, and he's transgender. A Democrat, I would imagine, would tell you that this undocumented migrant getting free surgeries via the taxpayer, it would be more stunning and brave than Principal Moore. I tend to disagree. I tend to disagree. He got the boobs and the hormones from the program that is called Medi-Cal, which is like the California Medicare, and they do get some federal funding. It's jointly funded by the state and the federal government. It's to provide free or low-cost health coverage to low-income individuals. Generally, it covers doctor visits, dental care, vision, prescriptions. The federal government typically covers 50% of these costs. So you, my friend, listening, you paid for one of these boobs.
Do you feel like that's a good benefit for other migrants here in California?
Yeah, even though you're undocumented, you can get it.
Did you do bottom surgery?
I'm waiting for that one.
Wow, you're waiting for bottom surgery. Okay. Are you happy with the results?
Yes.
Yep. Very, very happy. Very brave. Fox News is also reporting on this, and everybody's just like, what on earth is happening in the People's Republic of California? They're giving free sex change procedures to homeless illegal aliens, and they're calling it health care. This is after they've lost at least $180 billion to fraud.
Totaled at least $180 billion. California Governor Newsom responded to that report, saying it relies on, quote, guesses. Newsom says California has been a leader on combating fraud. Chris Rufo joins us now. Chris, what's your response to Newsom's response?
Yeah, well, Gavin Newsom is definitely becoming associated with the word fraud, but it's not for fighting it, it's for enabling it. And look, even under the most conservative estimates, experts from Harvard, from the Department of Health and Human Services, from LexisNexis Fraud Division have told us that the fraud in California is unprecedented. It represents the largest financial crime in American history. And scammers have been stealing billions of dollars per year. Some estimates say as high as $50 or $60 billion a year from the state of California, from federal taxpayers who actually send money to the state. And so, look, this reputation is catching up with the governor. He's going to try to run away from it, but the facts are not on his side.
No, and he shouldn't be able to run away from this at all. I would consider giving an illegal alien a sex change operation, some free boobs. I would consider that fraud. Would you consider that fraud? I think we would all consider that fraud. Got another story here in the lightning round. I don't know how I'll top that one. No pun intended. We've had some doozies. Here's a story that is pretty wild. AI for Hollywood. People are starting to panic when it comes to the AI revolution. I say starting. They've been panicking for a while. But this is from Breitbart. They say Hollywood's worst nightmare. Indian film studio rapidly adopts AI, and they're slashing their costs because of it and production time by 75 to 80%. Indian film studios are reportedly using AI to slash production time and cut costs, building the movie-making future that Hollywood is trying to prevent. While union contracts restrict American studios' use of AI, Indian cinema is racing ahead, reshaping the economics of filmmaking and compressing production timelines, according to a report by Reuters. The Collective Artists Network, a Bollywood A-list talent agency, which has brokered the careers of real-life superstars, is now generating digital ones from their office using AI to create content popular in India, which produces the most movies of any country. This is coming here, and I think you heard it in Ken's last newscast, where they were talking about using Val Kilmer via AI in American movies. There is going to be a reckoning, and it is going to be terrible for Hollywood. You think that they've lost power and influence in America before? Wait until AI reaches its maximum potential. The creatives are going to be empowered. These A-list celebrities are going to be devalued ad nauseum, and I'm actually a little bit excited for this. They say AI is slashing production costs to 1/5 of what they used to be for traditional filmmaking in genres such as mythology and fantasy. The guy who heads the talent agency AI studio, he said when it comes to production time, it's down to 1/4. and shifting audience habits, which involves the rise of streaming or tightening production budgets, industry insiders told the outlet. Last year, the number of moviegoers fell to 832 million from 1 billion in 2019, according to consulting firm Ormax Media. So the industry's already feeling the pinch and the bleeding, and now you're seeing some major players adopt the AI technology. And I think it's only a matter of time because American studios are going to need to compete with these Indian studios, whether you think that's the case or not. It just is. And they're going to be cutting jobs, and they're going to be embracing AI. And like I said, in Ken's last newscast, they talked about AI Val Kilmer. I would be here for another AI Val Kilmer Batman movie, though. What?
Out of all the movies, you're not a staunch like superhero movie enjoyer. I am, but I love that you stand up for the Val Kilmer one.
He was a good Bruce Wayne.
It was fun, yeah.
I think we'll leave it there. It's 11:53, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN. Should kids be on this platform, period?
No, it's not worth it. It's only going to create headaches for you.
Roblox itself, it is a predator haven. There are games on Roblox like XYZ Public Bathroom Simulator. That's about 7 million visits, and the whole premise of the game is showering together with kids.
It's basically open season for sex predators on this app. For this reason and all of the others that we've talked about today, Roblox is violating Louisiana law.
If you join it, you're going to see predators, you're going to see naked avatars, you're going to see people peeing and all this sort of weird stuff. If I was a parent and I saw that, I would be outraged. I would be totally outraged. And parents aren't aware of this.
Because there is so much content and it's so difficult to monitor, and there's, 40% of their users are under the age of 13, of course it's a place where predators have learned how to network and gather and groom children.
It's 11:58 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Mason's producing. Ken Weaver's in the newsroom. Chad Benson is in studio, and we were just discussing the differences in Batman movies behind the scenes.
They're getting darker.
Yeah. Well, with Val Kilmer, Tim Burton should have directed that one.
Yeah.
And they should have left the nipples off the suit.
Wasn't a good look.
That's why I think AI should take another stab at it and give us the Batman Forever we deserved.
I bet you somebody does. Somebody's probably going, I think I could do this here. AI, just take it.
Dude,
remix it.
They're trickling it out slowly on purpose, because if they rolled all of this out today, which they already have the capability of, who would watch anything anymore? Like, why would I need a Netflix subscription if I can watch a brand new episode of Seinfeld where they're talking about Kramer being in the Epstein files?
Yeah. No. I mean, you wouldn't have to. Or where you can design your own Epstein, your own Seinfeld that you want.
Yeah.
Just period. Just like your own, like, I'm going to put me in it. And I'm hanging out, and we're doing nothing with them. Yeah. It's going to be all about, it's coming faster. The problem is they don't know how do you go and you monetize that? What do you go, you got to go to the people who own it, say, all right, we're going to allow people to do this. We do this with a couple artists.
There's going to be such a flood, though, that they're not going to be able to stop it. Like, I think about, like, when I was growing up, and I remember the Twilight movies. You remember how many kids wrote fan fiction for those Twilight movies? Now imagine if you could do a full feature-length film based on the fan fiction that you wrote.
It's going to be awesome.
But then you multiply that by the, hundreds of thousands and millions. There's no way that they could ever stop it.
No, but the whole thing is giving people the license, like getting a company that says, all right, I'm licensing these so people can then do their own and share it with everybody. And if they can, make money off of it, but we're making money off of it too.
That's going to be key.
That's going to be, because you know what, man? It's all about the dollars, yo.
That's it. What are you talking about today?
Speaking of AI, did you see Allbirds?
No.
Allbirds is a shoe company. Except yesterday they said, we're not doing shoes anymore. We're an AI company now, and their stock went up 400%.
Interesting. Well, Chad's on the way in. I'll be listening for that. It's 12 o'clock. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.